Guys, welcome to a special edition exclusive 90 Day the Melanated Way with Fernanda Flores. I'm super excited. She has so many great projects happening, and I cannot wait to just chit chat with her. She is like an entrepreneur. She is an immigrant like myself, and just making the best of, the American dream. So let's welcome Fernanda Flores. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us. I didn't realize how much you had going on, and you have a lot going on.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very, very grateful. Sometimes, it gets too overwhelming, but we got to take a minute back and be grateful for all the projects and good things happening. But thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So what I thought I would do is kind of start from the beginning because you immigrated in 2019. Is that the right year?
Yeah.
So
2018. Actually.
2018. Mm-hmm. So 2018 to 2021, your journey has been explosive, mind-blowing, all the things. You've been through so much at such a young age. So I kind of want to talk about, I want to take it back to you coming to America and your thoughts on coming to America and what you thought your life would look like.
Well, since we grew up, we have this, we watch on movies and TV, and we see America in a different perspective.
Yeah.
A place where you can make your dreams come true, where possibilities can be done, and it's a little bit more of the Hollywood, culture. I think then that's what we are taught. But it is a little different once you come here.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Too much. Yeah, it's a great country. Yes, it's true. A lot of the things that we are shown are truth, but it takes a strong person and a hardworking person to make those things happen. And I believe that then you can make things happen everywhere you are, but in America it does has this magic to it. And yeah, it's a mix of a lot of people from everywhere, and this is just a country where you get to know a lot of different cultures and backgrounds, and it's a nice experience.
I love that. Now, when you came here, and I'm going to bring it back to those days because, as we were sharing in the green room, I met you with your journey on 90 Day Fiance. And so I wanted to ask you, because when I met you in LA, it was a lot, right? So I can imagine you just came to America. You have all of these journalists and press and networks, and everyone's like talking and coming at you. And it's like, and 90 Day was like on the precipice of becoming like the show, the number one reality show.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question to you is, how did you get involved with 90 Day Fiance? Was it your idea? Was it Jonathan's idea? And did you know that it was going to be as big as it is?
It's so funny. A lot of people ask me this question, and the truth is that I never actually watched reality TV before, and I had no idea what it actually was. My mom, I remember she used to watch some shows in Discovery Home and Hell, and that was the closest thing that I kind of knew about American TV. So when, of course, my ex brought to me the opportunity because he was friends with somebody on the production. So I contacted him because they find out about our relationship being long distance, and they asked him if the next step would be that it would be good for us to participate on the show. So he thought it would be a good idea also for his business and exposure, and why not? So he discussed it with me, and I really didn't give it a much thought. I was just like, okay, well, if you think it's a good idea, let's do it. Why not? So next thing you know, I'm already on it, and it's just so crazy. So yeah, it was, it happened so quick, and after I realized that it was a big deal. It was not what I thought at all, but it was a cool experience to see how the process of production, and I got really my interest on figuring it out more and learning and how things worked. It was really fun. It was exciting for me to learn all of that.
Now, what is the biggest misconception about you, Fernanda?
I think I think there is many of them because we have to spice it up, and as reality TV has to be, drama, and we have to give everything to the extreme. So I believe that there is many I mean, that's also another thing. Everybody can perceive things of you that it's in their own, everybody has their own definition of things. So I would say uh my craziness. Like, I'm not that crazy.
So are you saying that you don't have that Latina spiciness?
No, I do. No, hold on a minute. I do, and I always will, but not into that extreme.
Okay.
There are specific situations that happen. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get back to some of your history, but I do want to talk about this latest project, which brought us here. So
yeah,
this is like a big deal. So in conjunction with Korbel, you are collaborating for Hispanic Heritage Month for a very limited edition capsule collection designed specifically for the bottles as well as real life. Talk to us a little bit about how this came about and what it is.
Well, long story short, I got this opportunity. Korbel is one of my favorite alcohol brands. Like, I'm not a big of a drinker, but I like,
But when you drink, drink Korbel.
Yes. So I have my girlfriend who is my assistant. So we try to work and reach out to certain brands that I like and I believe that will be good for my brand. So we got an email back from them saying that there was this opportunity of this campaign. And of course, I said, well, I give it a thought for a minute because it was a big responsibility. And as every challenge or every new project that you have not experienced before, it's kind of scary. So it's kind of it was a little to me it was a little like, am I gonna be able to pull it up? Am I like doubting? It's again, it's I believe that it's normal in every big process. So I took my time to accept it, but then I said yes, I'm gonna just pull it up and I'm gonna do it, and why not? And I feel very honored and I feel very excited because it's I'm representing the Hispanic Heritage Month on the campaign with Korbel. So it made me really happy, like within myself. I'm like, it's a good thing. And I got very excited to have to come up with the designs and put everything together and deliver their expectations. So it definitely took me out of my comfort zone. But I'm really happy with it come out.
So you hand sketched the designs, and in conjunction with Texami, am I saying her name right? Texami, who is a Mexican designer, you guys came up with some of these things, and I wanted to show some of the images. So it's like a cozy for your Korbel bottle,
yes,
specifically by two Mexican creators. Talk to us a little bit about this one right here.
So this one is a dress, actually. In the adult design, it's a long dress. So, and this one specifically, it's very feminine. The color I inspire between the Korbel bottle and the colors and the flowers of my culture, like the flowers and the handcraft design. It's very cultural, and also the how can I say this in English? The borders. The borders in the beginning, that's also very authentic. So with this design specific, we wanted to make it simple to wear in any body type.
Got it.
Something that any woman can dress, and of course, I mean, it looks so cute in the bottle as well.
It really does. It really does. I love it. I love it. I love everything that's super girly. Yeah. Talk to us about this white pattern, as well as the one on the bottom is similar to the shirt that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, it's my favorite one though. This one is just it and actually it's a little more it took a little longer to make this one because of the details, and it's handcraft, so it takes time and it takes a lot of patience to make
Yeah.
this. So I believe it's like a we call it pancho, but the pancho usually is long, but this one is more of like a top side. So we play around with the you know, with the authentic version of things in my country, and but inspire ourselves with the colors of the campaign in the Korbel bottle.
Mm-hmm.
The white one, it's also a dress, and again, it's very, very, yes.
I love it. I love it. It's giving me Tiffany vibes with the off the shoulder,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I love it. Like, I
Thank you.
can't wait to see that one in like adult version.
I'm really, really happy. It's just very exciting that every time I present this to, and every person that sees this, they really like it and they love it, especially girls. It's something that you would like to wear. It's something that you then you will feel like, yeah, I'm confident on it too, because it makes you feel pretty, or at least that's what makes me feel. um so the white dress, it has also the belt. It has kind of
Mhm.
a belt. So that belt is also handcraft, and it's very, you know, it has some birds and flowers. The design of it is really cute as well. And I decided to make a birds because I also have like this free spirit of
Mm.
myself. Like, you know, everything is kind of like putting
Has a
together,
meaning.
special meaning for me. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So let's look at a few of the other ones. So are you wearing the dress in
I'm
this
wearing
photo
the
as well?
dress in those pictures. Unfortunately, there you can't really see the detail of the belt. But if you see my adult designs, they're literally specific, like almost the same as the mini version. So that's what really I'm happy about, because they came out perfect how they supposed to.
Now this is a Oh, look at that. Oh, I love it. The little hat. I just noticed the little hat.
Oh yeah, a little hat. That's also a really cute touch. But
Oh,
yeah, I have a hat version of the mini one as well, on the adult size. I'm really, you know, I wish we had a little bit of more production for you know, not the adult size to share as well, but
mhm.
hopefully in the future.
Now tell me a little bit about how people can they purchase this? How can they find these cute little designs that you've created?
Well, unfortunately, the signs are not on sale, because the focus of the campaign, it's more of the idea and the message that we are trying to tell. Of course, it's, as you can see, they're very authentic. So I'm very proud of my culture, and that's what I'm trying to say on this. You know, I want people to embrace the Hispanic culture and learn a little bit more about ourselves. You know, there is many Hispanic people in the United States.
Absolutely.
There is many it's very diverse. So from other countries, Mexico,
Mhm.
Colombia, Venezuela, that we have many other cultures and dialects and gastronomy. So of course I'm Mexican and I want to represent my country and my 100%. And these designs are very focused on my culture. But that's what I'm trying to tell by being an example and telling people how proud and happy I am of my background. So yeah, that's the reason why we decided to focus on designing this and making this happen for the visual part of it. But we are going to have a giveaway on my social media,
Mhm.
so people can participate following me on Instagram and
Mhm.
stay tuned, because about, I think next week, I believe next week we're gonna start the giveaway. And following my Instagram, I'm going to be posting about the instructions to participate to gain a collection of four of the designs um, of the mini designs, and
Mhm.
also a bottle of Korbel. So you guys can celebrate and cheer
I love that idea.
Hispanic Heritage Month. Yeah.
Now, Fernanda, for people that don't know about Hispanic Heritage Month, how can you explain it to them?
Well, Hispanic Heritage Month, it just started. It's not been around for a long time, but I believe that every year that happens, it gets people get acknowledged of it more, and people celebrate it more. So I believe it's important for other people around me, especially my friends that are not Hispanic, to learn about the message of it, which is like there is many Hispanic people in the United States, and every single country contributed, and every immigrant contributed to the country in a different way. So I believe it's important to just acknowledge that and appreciate that. I have many Hispanic friends, and I surround myself with a lot of them as well. But I appreciate when other people that are not Hispanic take the time to kind of learn and understand why we're different. That Venezuelan people don't like spicy, and Mexican people like little things.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice because I also take the time to learn about my friends' background and my friends' other cultures. So I think it's important. I also appreciate that's happening because I just believe it's a nice thing to do because America is full of diversity, and
That's
why
right. That's right. And I think that even in our differences, we have commonality, right? And so the more we know about each other, the more we can understand each other, and the more we can all get along. And I mean, I think that that's the basis of America, right? Is where we're all immigrants, but we're all immigrants together sharing one experience. So I
not?
love that this is happening. I love that Korbel teamed with you for Hispanic Heritage Month. I think that it's important to raise awareness for all cultures and have everyone experience that.
Yeah.
I do want to get back a little bit to because you have such a huge following, a huge platform from the 90-day franchise. And you started in season 5, and then we saw you on Single Life. I want to talk a little bit about because it's kind of hand in hand, Fernanda. So you're very girly. You're also, an entrepreneur. You're big into fitness. And then you were single,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of us are kind of in that same spirit
Yeah.
or genre. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what it was like dating,
Yeah.
right, on national TV, and what advice you would give other single women.
Well, being dated on this show was really tricky. Um it was a challenge. I mean, I believe that in general, I was single for 2 years, and my journey being single, it was, full ups and downs, and especially coming out of a very tragic situation, I would call it. Um it was a hard thing to do, and especially having the cameras on,
Mm-hmm.
you already come with all your insecurities and all you're kind of like not ready but trying, and then having cameras on it, it's just it's a lot. But it was fun. I had fun. um but different. So I would just my advice that I believe it would be, don't lower your standards at all. Like, I feel like once that you outcome after a breakout and you learn a lot about yourself, and then you realize many things, and you're in a point where you're like happy within yourself, you recover, you gain yourself back, and you're independent, and you feel this strain of stability. It's not worth to give it away just for not feeling lonely, or just for not feeling, lower
Yeah.
yourself, just because sometimes it feels like we should be with somebody. We're not meant to be alone. We're good enough to be with somebody, so why I'm not? So a lot of those thoughts come on the journey of being single, and it's and I'll call it no weakness, but like low points where
Yeah.
we will just lower our standards for feeling that void, or doing that. And I think that my advice would be, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And just try to be stronger when you feel that way. Because unfortunately, if we just fall for anything or the same patterns that we had in the past, then there you're not improving and you're not growing as a woman. So I that would be my advice. Just be strong and not lower your standards for nothing less than what you deserve.
Now, Fernanda, do you have a type? Because it kind of
Yeah.
sounds like you have a specific type.
Yeah.
Tall, a little bit dark and handsome. Do you have a type, Fernanda?
I believe I do, yeah.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about, it seems like you date men that are a little bit older than you,
Yeah.
that have a specific type. And, you know, we have a few people in the live chat that were invited to come join us. And Robbie really stands out in this whole, Robbie is the lawyer.
Yeah.
And so I want to, when we saw him on the tell-all, I felt like he had a lot to say. I felt like he was surprised that you broke up with him. Like that had never happened in his life.
Yeah.
And so that relationship seemed very volatile from the very beginning. And do you feel like you recognize that? Do you recognize that?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's related. Yeah, I mean, I just, again, we have this idea of what we want, and we give it a try, you know, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't what I wanted or I expected it to be. So, and we were both um, different stages in life. And I mean, he's also somebody I talk a lot, and he talks a lot. But that moment, I needed to be here, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I believe that he might had you know, a lot to say, and he wasn't quite happy with the outcome of things. But I'm sorry.
Right. It was, you were moving. It wasn't going to work. Bye for now.
Yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't really feel like staying in Chicago. I needed just a new, fresh beginning, and my relationship with him wasn't strong enough for me to consider staying or making a big change of my decision. So yeah.
And so you did a little bit of a test run. So you tested out Los Angeles, where I am currently, and then you tested out Miami, which I love. Yeah. I always say I used to go. So Fernanda, a little backstory. I used to go to Miami every year for spring break.
Ooh.
And I love like the whole like Latin vibe, the open, like you say, your free spirit, all the things. And then so I'm from Canada. And I was like, oh, when I finish university, I'm going to move to Miami, all the things. But listen, I was too free in Miami, like too free.
Yes, I believe that's the thing. For sure. If you gotta be a strong, disciplined in that sense, like a strong minded to be like, I'm gonna stay at home in the weekend. I'm not gonna
Yes.
Yes. You gotta have a balance.
So you spent some time in LA, you spent some time in Miami, and then you chose Miami to be your new home.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. So the reason is that, Miami, in the party scene, it's crazy. It gets really, really wild, which is really fun. It makes Miami what it is. But in the other hand, the fitness industry and the fitness community, it's amazing here because, of course, it's the beach. Everybody wants to look good. Everybody works out. So the fitness community is really big, and everybody's so nice. And I just felt very connected with that. Also, I started trying boxing, and I met a few people over there too. So
I met a few people at the boxing gym.
So that's why. I mean, it just made me feel better at that stage of my life. I was like, okay, I want to focus more on fitness, and it made more sense for me. Yeah.
Okay, so, and which I love because, you know, especially in this pandemic, and I'm sure this hasn't happened to you because I've seen your photos, but some of us have that pandemic 15 that we're trying to work off, 15, maybe 20.
You know, it happened to me too.
Oh, listen, it's a mess. So let's talk a little bit about that. So you moved to Miami, and, you know, because it's like part of the 90-day family, you moved to Miami, you had this roommate. And then, so did you know Noel before you moved? Like, had you met him a few times before?
Yeah, that's another question a lot of people ask me for, because in the show you can really understand the beginning of it. It kind of the way how it was Earth. It was tricky to understand, but we met at the gym. We were friends before we decided to move in together. And well, the owner of the gym who I started training with, he was also really good friends with them. So the time I would train, he would train also at the same time. It was like the gym kind of empty. So we met each other there. So we kind of like, just started having just a friendship, but nothing too personal. And then it just made sense when we were both looking for a place.
Uh-huh.
Realtor, oh, here's my realtor. And then, oh, okay, well, everybody was moving down here. One bedroom apartments were so expensive. So for us, it was like, okay, looking for a roomie, like it'll be better. So then it just came down to we ended up living together, and I hold myself back a little because my grandma passed away right
So
before I was to move in. Yes, and I decided to go to Chicago just to be with my family for a little bit. And I thought, I was like, hey, because when that happened, my world went up down. Like literally, I just wanted to be in bed all day and crying for days. So it was a really tough situation where I thought of myself, maybe I should put this move on hold. Maybe I'm not right now stable to do that. And then he was like, he was over here just moving things through, and he kind of just pushed me to be like, just do it. Like, why would you stop it? What would your grandma would like you to do? And also himself, like, he was very supportive in that sense. Not even, I wasn't asking for it, he wasn't like trying, it just kind of happened, and he was just such a good support. And I felt that, and it's just, I don't know how everything happened, very very weird, I guess. But I
but there were
yeah.
sparks. There
Yes,
were sparks.
yes, like the emotional and the just the presence support of, this new friend who's like just no interest, just being there. And it just, yeah, it was nice to have that in the time. And even, well, one thing took to another, and we ended up dating, so here we are.
Now, you seem very, very happy. I see your social media. You seem very, very happy. Dating in such a public platform, how was that for Noel? And has he adjusted to, being recognized and knowing, like, that's Fernanda's man?
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a challenge for him as well, because at the beginning he had no idea of what the show was as well. So he's also from another country. He'd been living here in Miami for 1 year before me. And actually, once that I decided to move, he was also looking for another apartment because his lease was up. And he was fresh also from another country, and we kind of understood each other so much and how it feels to be far away from home and not having family around. And a lot of things in common, being an immigrant, both of us.
Yeah.
So for him it was tricky to understand and learn about my whole journey on 90 Day. And of course it's a lot, and for him it took him a minute to understand and realize everything, and accept that as well, because it was, again, a lot, because you have here with what I can share with him, and also what he can research and find, many articles and things, and why not. It's a lot of misinformation, and also the fans and social media, or the followers in social media, can get a little bit also too
They're very invested and they have a lot of opinions.
yes, and I respect that, I understand. But when it comes to our personal lives, it's difficult, because we do give away the most expensive thing that we have, which is privacy. um so we are really happy to share things with people, but at the same time it's not fun when, like, we don't get the same respect back. But he did a really good job. I mean, at the end, he he's been on the public eye on his own because he's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
He understands a lot of the way how things work, and he has been also on TV, and he has done many interviews and many things, many press that he has experienced and understands how things go. So when I asked him to be on the show too, because they wanted to film on, on our dynamic of being roommates. um He's like, but wait, what? Like, how? I was like, but a TV show, and but you, yeah. And then he kind of went with the flow. He was like, "Yeah, do it for you. Why not?" And he helped me basically. Then afterwards, when we decided to make our relationship public, because it also took me a minute, because in my own family, I'm like, oh, what everybody's gonna say, like, we're roommates and we living together. My family are very religious until today. Like, they're like, when is the wedding?
Yeah.
Why do you live together if you're not married?
Yeah.
So it's really hard. So we have the pressure family, the show pressure, the friends and social media followers pressure. So it's a lot, but I feel like everything makes us stronger as a couple, and we're facing things together. So I'm very happy for that.
Is this the happiest you've been in a relationship?
Yeah.
Aw, I love that. We do have a couple of questions in the live chat that I might pick a couple as we move on. So Tammy wants to know, have you been back to Mexico yet to visit family? And if not, when do you plan on going?
I have not yet. So it's been about about 3 years that I haven't visited my family. First was because my immigration
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
was dropped. So how the process started and was advanced. Once that I got separated and divorced, it dropped. So I had to start my process over with my family.
Yep.
So my dad is a citizen, but because the way how immigration law works is really tricky. So you
Mhm.
might have to start all over again, and then wait for your interview to come through, and all the paperwork. So I waited for a long time, but then COVID happened and
Yeah.
delayed all of the immigration processes. So right now, everything, thank God, it has gone well, and I'm just expecting for one more thing that is gonna allow me to go and come back and wherever I want to go, because I
Yeah.
also want to meet my boyfriend's family and friends back in his country. So we both are very
Where is he from?
happen. He's from Armenia, actually.
Oh,
He's
okay.
born and raised in Armenia, but raised in Germany. So he has also family everywhere. But yeah, I'm excited to visit just where he's from, and also himself to visit Mexico. So, and not only that, but I'm so happy and excited to see my mom and my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very kind of similar immigration type of story. I don't think people realize how long the process is and how intricate it is, and not being able to leave until you have all the proper paperwork, all of the things, and then the pandemic hitting, and people everywhere, wherever you are, being just away from your loved ones, it's hard. So I get that, and
You know, I feel like for me, the biggest thing, it was the fear of what if something happens to my family, and I'm not able to go.
yeah,
And my biggest fear was my grandma. So when that happened, it was the worst thing it could ever happen to me. I've believed before, and after I made it and I outcome that, I mean, it's really hard, but then I'm like, okay, so what else can happen? Now I kind of like, I can feel 100% present, and
mhm,
I know that I have to put my 100% what I'm right now, because before then, I feel like as an immigrant, we always, and having those processes going on, it's a little bit of fear of, what if I have to go back, and then you don't give your 100% and you're where you are now,
yeah,
because you have also always that feeling of
pressure.
you up. So yeah, so after that happened, I was like, okay, well, here I am, and you gotta move forward. And that's like, again, like the message that always my grandma especially, and everybody will give us: be strong, stand up, move forward. Be strong, stand up, move forward. So it always been that way. So I identify so much with a lot of my followers that are immigrant because we all experience that.
Absolutely, 100%. Patty wants to know, have you found any part of America that surprised or delighted you? So is there any city specifically that you were surprised about? Any city that you absolutely loved and would go back to visit?
Um, I think every place that I have visited in the United States, I've been amazed by, and I feel very special connection on certain cities. I would say Chicago. It's the best city or my favorite, just because the diversity of it. You can find people from everywhere. With everybody's so friendly, everybody's so genuine. And I have a thing with every other city. I believe in LA. It's also really nice when it comes to Hollywood and the history in the movies, and
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Yes, and I really love it as well. But it's also a little, it's a little harder for your career too. It's a lot of people with big dreams trying to make it. So,
Yeah.
I think every city I like it. But Chicago, it's my
Chicago.
favorite part. Yeah.
Lovin' Life wants to know, what is your favorite American food?
Deep dish pizza. What's that? Is that American? Yeah, right?
Deep dish pizza? I would think it's like Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. Deep dish pizza,
Yeah.
which is a whole other debate, right? Between
Yeah.
like holding the pizza that's too thick, all the things. But I agree with you. Chicago pizza is
It's really good.
really good.
And of course, I mean, burgers. I love burgers.
Now, a couple of people want to talk a little bit about your fitness. And so Love and Life is also saying, make me skinny again, Fernanda. Are you thinking about doing any like fitness videos that you add to your YouTube channel or anything like that? Like where someone can
what happened? So when you mentioned about a lot of, because even myself and my closest friends and family gaining a lot of weight while quarantine. So it was hard for people to come out of it and try to have a um, healthy lifestyle. So of course, in my social media here and there, I share tips of how to meet your goals and your physical self. But before, I didn't feel myself with enough experience to be able to tell people what to do or show people, because I know how I always know how works my body and what works for my body, but everybody's different, right? So my boyfriend, who has way more experience on fitness, because it's all he has done his entire life, so he knows a lot of it, and actually what it worked for me, and I will say that my favorite workout now so far, it's boxing, because there's a lot of cardio on it, and it's just the benefits is not only the exercise, but mentally it helps you so much to get out of your frustrations and all your stress and anger and whatever you have going on inside yourself, that when you just punch and you just let it out, it's like a bunch of benefits. And I do like boxing, not to fight, but just to kind of fight with myself, go all of those extra things that I deal with. So we were talking about maybe we will come up with a basic boxing training session. So yeah, a training completely. So it's just a lot of work, and there is a lot of research and things that we gotta do to make sure that we deliver something that works. So we're on that, but it's on the books.
I love that. You've got a lot of projects, Vanessa wants to know, have you connected with Paola in Florida?
Yes, actually, Paola and I, we're really good friends. Even before I moved, and when I first came to Miami, it was 2019, and it was my first Miami Swim Week. And I stayed here for about 2-3 weeks, and it was my first time meeting her. No, my second time seeing her in person. One first time in a meeting in LA with all the 90-day cast.
Yeah,
But
I
then
remember
her,
that.
it was more of like private, just her, and actually Russ came too. We went out for dinner and then drinks, and we all had like fun, and then we danced, and it was a really cool night. Then after that, we also stayed with her one day um at her place, so we just like came closer. So every time I would come down, I would try to meet her. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it would not, but I used to come every other month here to Miami. So now that I moved, it's been a little hard, because once that you're here for really good and for a living, your schedule kind of like, you're just focusing on working and doing
Yeah.
also herself. So it's kind of hard for us to get our schedules together, but we are really good friends, and hopefully we can meet up again soon.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm popping up this photo because it's the shirt you're wearing that I absolutely love. I love it.
It's like a top.
Yes, I love it so much. What was the inspiration behind this, and is there meaning behind this shirt?
Well, yeah, that's, you can see that there is different type of flowers. My last name is Flores, which is meaning on Spanish is flowers. So I always felt very connected to nature and flowers and plants. If you see my balcony, you find so many plants because I just love it. And I usually also, I grew up with in my grandma's backyard. She will have so many different roses and
Aww.
different types. Yes. So this is kind of more thinking of her.
Yeah, so like an homage to your grandma.
Yes. So and that's like what she, the way how she will make you feel, very, very loved and special. And that's another thing. I feel like she was always my safe place. Like, I knew that no matter what would happen to me in my life, that I could always go back to her, and she will make me feel like I'm home and I'm okay, and nothing's matter. Like, yeah, she's just gonna be like, yeah, Mija, like everything is good. So after she's gone, then I realized that I had to build that for myself, because that was not there anymore. So I'm in that journey. So with this, I also tried to tell myself that, like, she's here, like I'm her, and somehow.
Aww. And I'm going to pop this question up, but how is your grandpa doing? Because, we did see him on 90 Days. How is he doing?
Well, okay, that's another confusion I have. Okay, so my grandparents, for my dad's side, who are the ones that live in Chicago, and they are in the show, they're both good, and they in Chicago. Yes, so they are my parents from my dad's side. So
Okay.
my dad, who is my biological dad, and my grandparents, who are his parents, live in Chicago. So they are good, and they're like my most immediate family I have here in the States. So every time, that's why also I love Chicago so much, because I have family, friends in the city. So it was like kind of like the best for me. But my grandma who passed away is my grandma from Mexico, who's the mother of my mom. And because I
Yeah.
was raised in Mexico, I was closer to her. However, my grandparents from Chicago, they do also own a house in Mexico close where I live, I grew up, which is like 15 minutes. So they will come to Mexico when my grandma was very healthy and they could travel easy. They will come at least twice a year. So it was like their vacation house.
Yeah.
And I had a relationship with them all the time, and they also loved so much my grandma who passed away. Their relationship was really, really strong. But I here have a picture actually of my grandma.
Oh, let me pop this down so everyone can see it more. Oh.
So this is my grandma.
Oh.
I have another one here. I have like a bunch of pictures of her in my.
And what was her name?
This is her, Imelda. Imelda, yeah.
Imelda.
Yeah, so she basically taught me how to cook, how to do everything in life, how to clean my ass. Yeah, so that's also, I share a lot of recipes sometimes on my social media.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I know how to cook, it's because she taught me how. So yeah, this woman over here, she was a big impact for me in my life.
I love that. Patty wants to know, and I think maybe we'll just mention it again for people that have just joined. Please let us know if your creations become available to the public. Do we want to explain to them again how they can get these beautiful creations?
Yes. So I said before that these designs, the adult designs and the also mini designs, are not for sale because um the focus of the campaign is the message behind it. So we have them visual for everybody, but you do can participate in a giveaway we're gonna have in my social media next week. The way how you can do this is by following me on Instagram and staying tuned these next few days. So I'm gonna be posting next steps for the giveaway, and luckily, if you win, you're gonna have the four different mini designs shipped to you. And okay, see this. So yeah, I have them actually right here. But you will have them and also a coupon to get a rosé.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you guys make sure you're following Fernanda on her social media. That way, this collaboration with Korbel and in conjunction with Hispanic Heritage Month, you will be able to participate. And if you're lucky enough, fingers crossed, you will be sent out some of these limited edition, because they are limited edition collections that, again, Fernanda handcrafted and in conjunction with Taxami, who is a Mexican designer who brought Fernanda's designs to life. I mean, right there already, it feels like it's going to be like a collector's edition.
Yes, I'm really excited. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate everybody's good feedback.
Absolutely. Now, Tammy wants to know, is there marriage in your future?
That question, actually, yesterday, hanging out with my grandpa again, like this morning again, we were discussing about it again. For both of us, it's very fresh as well. And after coming out of a divorce, I don't think my grandparents understand this because they're just very religious. They're just like, you gotta live in the right way, and I get that. But I just want to make sure that we are both, strong enough to build a family, because I come out of a divorce from my parents, which was really tough for me being the oldest, and my little brother and my little sister. So I know how hard it is to put the kids through something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen to my kids, because I do want to have kids. So I believe that I'm really happy and comfortable. And I will tell you this, I never felt this peaceful in a relationship before.
You can tell, you know that, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Even your whole personality and aura has changed.
Thank you. I believe that having the right partner next to you, it impacts your life, and I feel that way. So because things have been going so smooth and everything's good, I just don't want to jump in that decision just because it's a good timing.
Yeah.
I do believe that we both have a lot to do in our own when it comes to our personal lives and our personal selves. We are doing it together, and we help each other every day in every single thing we face, which is good because it gives me a sign that it can go that way for long term. But I just want us to be 100% sure that that's what we want. So,
listen, Fernanda, you're still young. And I think that when you build together with someone, it makes you stronger as a couple. It makes you stronger as a unit, and you go through some things. So when you can go through some things and get through them together, that just strengthens the relationship and allows you to remind yourself that, hey, this is my person, right? So we all want our person, and there's no rush in getting to it. If that's your person, it's always going to be your person. And when the timing is right, you'll know. That's I tell my viewers all the time, there's no rush, but make sure you're asking the questions and make sure you've gone through some things. And we talk about it a lot on our show. So there are 4 questions, Fernanda, that you should ask when you're in a serious relationship. The first question is, do you want kids? How do you feel about kids? How do you want to raise your kids? Because I believe that if you don't have that question, somewhere down the line, it's going to be an issue. So you have to be on the same page with that. The second question we ask all the time is your belief, faith, religion. Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Because if you do decide to have children, how are you going to raise those children? And what values are you going to bring to the table? Mm-hmm. Third one is, I'm laughing at the comment. She says, "When you get my age, there is a rush, Linda." LOL. Third one we like to talk about is money. How do you spend money? How do you save money? What's your relationship with money? Because if you guys are not on the same page, it can be an issue.
Naturally, of course.
Of course.
I know. That's really interesting. That's a good message you're giving.
And then the last one is sex.
Yeah.
Sex is important. It's important and it's hot and heavy in the beginning, but if you're planning to be married forever, you want to know how that person views sex, their relationship with sex, how important it is in the relationship, and all of the things. So those 4 things, if you have a conversation and you're on the same page, you'll be good to go.
Nice.
You'll be good to go.
I feel very confident in that.
I see by the smile on your face. All is good in all the departments.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very, very grateful with the way how things are, but yeah, you're very right. I think we have to keep asking those questions constantly, because at the same time we are all in a growing process. Even though you're 30, even though you're 40, whatever age you are in consistent growth within yourself. So it's important to know if you're still, 2-3 years from now, where you're standing at.
Reevaluate, ask those questions again. Absolutely. Everyone's really loving this white dress, myself included. I'm super excited to see these designs in real life. Nice. I've been like opening my apartment door, like, are they here yet? Are they here yet? So I'll definitely be sporting some of these amazing outfits. People want to know, will we see you back on any TLC shows? Ooh. And can you talk about that?
I can't talk about that, unfortunately, yet, but you guys have to stay tuned. You do have to stay tuned because there is exciting things happening and coming up. I just can't tell details, but you just have to.
There you go. Listen, I get it. TLC, tight cords. Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit too, because it was an interesting tell-all, the single life tell-all. Yeah. Vanessa says, good job calling out Big Ed for flirting with you, flirting with your roommate. Has Liz or Ed come for you about that?
Well, not really. After the tell-all, I reminded a girlfriend with Liz. I won't follow Big Ed because I just don't like the way how he treated her in the tell-all. And I felt identified to her of things that I went through in the past, and I was just like, it's so unfair, it's so it's just so bad. I don't know what they're at right now. I haven't really followed that through because I was just so pissed about the whole situation.
Well, let me tell you a little something before you go on, just so you have that in the back. They're engaged.
I heard. Yeah. So again, like, I mean, if he, he said he went to therapy, then he's working on his things, and I hope it's true. Then I hope, that she's like sure on what the decision she's making. I'm rooting for her, and I'm, she's a really nice girl, and he is very funny, but I just feel like she needs to be respected, and as long that he does that, then I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Everyone deserves happiness, and if she thinks that she's going to find happiness with that situation, then I wish them all the best. But history repeats itself often, and I think that it's hard to change a personality when you're already set in your ways. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, I want to talk a little bit about your activewear. So we've got a lot of fitness stuff going on. So we've got this collaboration with Korbel. We've got perhaps maybe a fitness app or a fitness video happening. And then we have an activewear that you're working on. It's either going to be like swimsuits or it's going to be activewear. What's going to make it stand out from any of the other activewear that's out there?
Well, especially for me, this project, it was just, again, like something very, I believe in destiny, and I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And the way how things happen and the timing that it happened, this collaboration with Korbel, they coming up to me and saying, "We give you the opportunity to design this is what we have in mind, but we want you to develop it." And it kind of forced me to do it. You
Yeah.
know, saying yes and just jumping on it and having the responsibility of deliver. It took it showed me, that I what I was capable of, and I already had this interest before, and they didn't know this. Yeah. Nobody know this, but I knew it, and the fact that these opportunities show up, it gives me that strength I needed to follow through the plans that I had in the past. So the special, again, I'm gonna try to same as well with these designs that I did, to tell my story on it, to send a message. It's not only the clothing, it's how it's gonna make you feel.
Yeah.
And I want to make this available for anybody type, any girl, any woman, and I wanted to, when you wear this, to make yourself feel beautiful and strong and empowered, and all these things that I had to tell constantly myself to be able to move forward in my life. So I think that the what it will make my brand to stand out, it's gonna be the feeling behind it, the
Yeah.
message behind it.
Absolutely. Now, on top of all of this, you're still modeling. How is the modeling going?
The modeling is good. Since I moved down here, and it's a little bit more of a Hispanic um environment. So I'm a curvy model. I'm
Yeah.
not typical skinny, tall. So my market, it's more commercial. So here, especially in Miami, has gone really good. But this past swim week 2021, I realized that too. I said to myself that I'm ready to make the next step. That I don't really want to model for longer, because I did it for getting the experience. I want to know how I'm gonna treat my models. I want to know how my models need to be treated, and how, their needs, and how it feels to be in that side of the industry. So going through those years of experience, I learned a lot. I also learned from the designers, the brands, and collecting all that data in my own head. It was a good experience for me to have, but I feel like now I'm ready to take the next step, because that wasn't my bigger picture. That was just a part of the
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 whole vision. The
yeah.
whole vision. I get it. And I love the fact that I'm also talking to a strong, independent entrepreneur who sees the bigger picture, who has vision and drive and all of the things. I'm so happy you did this interview because, Fernanda, I think that part of it too is, people see you in snippets on TV,
Yeah.
right? So they're going to form a specific opinion of what they think is happening,
Yeah.
and not knowing, you're a whole person. You have goals, you have aspirations, you have insecurities, just like the rest of us. And I think that part of doing this, and even collaborating with Korbel, knowing that you can do it. If you have a dream, you guys, if you have something that you believe in, that you're passionate about, you can do all those things, and you can educate people at the same time, right? So I think that that's what's great about being able to talk to you like this. I do want to ask you two more questions before I let you go, because I know you're busy, and we're all like trying to make some
I'm
things
having a great
happen.
time in this interview. So
Oh, yay, yay. Fernanda, so what's the biggest takeaway that you have from, and I'm taking it back to like dating and relationships, what's the biggest takeaway that you have from being divorced at such a young age? What advice would you give, people your age and even younger,
Mhm.
thinking about, hey, you know what, the goal is always, and I think that we have similar backgrounds where we have really strict religious parents that are like, get married, have
Yeah.
kids, get the house and the white picket fence in that order. What
Mhm.
advice would you give young people who kind of grow up that same way, where they're like, oh, I have to do this right now and do it in this order? What advice would you give them?
Well, I will say take your time, because that was like, I believed in that was my um I don't want to call it problem or mistake, because at the end, the outcome, I'm happy. I would change anything, because that whole process is what made me who I am.
Yeah.
And so, but back then, if I was myself, I would like somebody to tell me it's okay if you don't rush it. It's okay if you don't feel 100% sure. Don't do it. Like, do what feels good for you. Because back then, yes, my decision was very influenced by the comfort of my parents and my grandparents and everybody around me, but what I wanted.
Yeah.
I did wanted to give it longer time to the relationship to actually get to meet this guy's family and friends and his environment of how actually it was, and not how I was told it was.
Yeah.
So, but you're not leaving the house, not being married, So then it was a tricky situation where you have to kind of like um break agreements with the people that you love, and it's really hard because I mean, I have such a respect and love to my grandparents and my parents especially, which I can't tell them wrong. Like, and that back then I wasn't strong enough in my own mind to be able to disappoint them, that disappointment um feeling, or it's just so hard. So for me, I wasn't willing to go through that, because I always wanted to be a good daughter, a good granddaughter, a good example for my sister and my brother. I always wanted to be the best of myself, and that's always been, and that's until today. I want to be the best of myself, not only for them but also for myself. But then I didn't really know what was the best for myself.
Yeah.
I just knew what they told me, you would be the best of myself.
Yeah.
So I will say, for the young generation, I will tell them, just be strong enough to disagree with their agreements, because you have to live on your own. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you go, we are alone in life somehow, and we have to do what is best for us and what makes us feel good on our own. Because I do take a lot of things that they taught me in my daily day basis, values and boundaries and other things that help me to be successful, but not everything, And I have my own criteria, and I got to that point where I got to know many things. I'm really grateful to be able to get to know a lot of ways, different ways of living of friends, and a lot of other, thoughts that help me to create my own and live by that, because that's what feels right for myself. So I think that'll be my advice. Just be strong enough to say no. I'm sorry, that's not what I want, and I want to try something different out. And people are not gonna be happy, but what matters is what's good for you.
Hmm. I felt that in my soul. I felt that I had a whole shiver. In a moment, I was like, are we both going to start crying? Beautiful answer. And my other question too is because my father passed a few years in 2018, and I wanted to ask you, just have you been working on mending your relationship with your father?
Oh, well, yeah, see, that's a really hard situation as well. I feel like I did try it, but when you get so disappointed over and over,
Yeah.
it's just really hard when you're also the only person trying.
Yeah.
Um, I went while I lived in Chicago for 2 years, and you think that that would be time enough to be able to build a relationship, and we didn't really talk about it, or I didn't feel like it's strong enough to tell him and face those things that I was always carrying on within myself until the very end of my move. So when he apologized, and then we tried to reconnect and have that relationship, I moved. So then when I got back and my grandma passed, then I felt, a little bit of more emotional support, and that was nice. So, but nothing has really actually changed. Like, the relationship still, like, here and there, messages and calls in special occasions. And I'm okay with it. I feel like I got to a point where you just have to accept it and move on and be cool with what it is, because you can't force people to go in your way when or make things in the way you want it when it's just not there.
Listen, Fernanda, that's wisdom. Sometimes you have to love people from afar. if they are not, and I'm not saying this is your situation, I'm just saying in general, I think that sometimes if it's one-sided, or if it's toxic, or if it's not fitting into your life journey in the moment, you love them from afar and you hope and pray that somewhere down the line things will change. But if not, you just continue to love them from afar. And that's okay too, because at the end of the day, we have that one life. That one life is short. We have to protect our mental health, our well-being, and our happiness. And sometimes it looks different than what people think it looks like. So I'm proud of you for recognizing that. And thank you so very much for spending some time with us, you guys.
Of course.
Fernanda, tell everyone where they can find you on social media. The contest starts next week, so you got to make sure you're following her so that you're aware. So where can they find you on social media?
So my Instagram handle is Fer Flores Official, which is FERFLORES. Official only with one F. Fer Flores Official. Yeah. And that's the same for TikTok, and that's the same for Twitter, and also YouTube, which I am going to drop a video. It's like a blog of the process of working with Korbel and the corporation and how we came up with everything. So that's going to be really cool as well. So you guys make sure that you subscribe on my Instagram, my YouTube channel, because it's going to come soon. But yeah, you guys can stay tuned. I'm the most active on Instagram, so that's like the best to reach out. Yeah.
Same. Excellent. Well, I wish you all the best. I'm so excited about all the things you have coming down the pipeline. Congratulations again on this Korbel times Fernanda Flores Hispanic Heritage Month, you guys. So it has a meaning behind it, which is the beautiful thing. So she's not just doing it to do it like, oh, I'm doing something cool. She's doing something to spread awareness. It's culturally sensitive. It is exploring the diversity of America, and she's female, she's Latina, and guys, make sure you support that and you just support the diversity. I'm all here for it. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure that you're following Fernanda, you're following us at 90 Day The Melanated Way, and thank you absolutely from the bottom of my heart, you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye guys for now.
Yeah.